All right. Tune in. Tune in. I hope everyone is doing wonderful. I am doing exceptional, exceptionally great. And if you're not doing well, I hope you do better and start to feel better towards the end of your dawn, night, whatever it is, time where you are. Do come in, hit that like button, join the conversation. I know there are some people who are just silent watchers. You don't particularly join, but please do come in and hit the like button to show support. It's free. Okay. Even if you're here to steal content, come in, hit the like button. It's free. Okay. Yeah, I hope everyone is doing wonderful. We are going to talk about quite a few things. Quite a few things. Now, some of those things are going to be more so about, of course, spirituality, things like that. But we're also going to talk about basic conversations about why certain people don't understand relationships and why they make having relationships everything. I feel like a lot of people who talk about certain things about men and stuff all the time, a lot of times it's because they're struggling with those particular things with the men they're still dealing with, or they're trapped to a man like that by children, things like that. So there are many people who get caught up in um, hatred. Okay, just showing their hatred for people, and if you are so busy um, being hateful, you don't really have room to receive. Most people are not trying to give stuff to hateful people. That's why so many people like Shira Seven and other people have to show people how to reinvent their hatred for people who are naturally what they're pretending to be. And this is also why so many people, men and women alike, end up having a lot of conflicts, whether it be through jobs, friendships, whatever, because a lot of people are only pretending to take something they want, whether it's your position at a job, whether it is your husband. Okay, you could be a husband, wife, whatever it is. Most people want your spot. And the people who don't want your spot, it's only because they've been creating the space and the ability to receive room for their own. Okay, those are the people who are going to clap for you because seeing you do good things feels good because that's how you feel when you do good things. So, yeah, we'll talk about it. I'll give y'all time to get in here. Y'all know what time it is. Okay, can't say wake and bake because I've been up for a while. I have like 2 meetings in a little bit. And when I say a little bit, like some hours. So I said the least I could do is come here and have a conversation about things that are important and a lot of us deal with. And I'll say again, a lot of people don't realize they waste their time being jealous of people who are trying to show off their mistakes. I don't care if it's having kids, marrying the wrong person. A lot of people are still trying to remind themselves they still got it. And they don't. They've been lost it. And they probably lost it to the person they're sleeping with. The real definition of sleeping with the enemy. And you ain't got to be married to do that. So tune in. Okay, tune in. It is a whole lot of stuff that goes on like this, and I feel like it deserves to be talked about for people who get caught up in trying to keep certain things private. Like, oh, but I really like this guy. I really like this girl. We've been talking. We've been kicking it. I like how they look. I like how they. Yeah, but you're doing your bonding based on worldly methods. That's not the correct way. You're supposed to be trying to mate. Every species has its own mating song. So imagine when you're trying to mate with your own species using somebody else's mating song and then wonder how so many different people can access or, you know, punch holes through your relationships. I don't care if it's a friendship, whatever. Most people who operate in using worldly methods and white supremacy and the isms to humble people, those are the people that end up marrying their enemy the most. So, yeah, a lot of people are at war with themselves and they need you to be in it so they can have some peace. Okay, hey baby, how you doing? Come in, hit that like button, join the conversation. Y'all know what time it is over here. Come in, come in, come in. And how are y'all doing? How are y'all doing today? And y'all let me know if you deal with this or if you know any friends who kind of are dealing with situations like this too. I feel like the situations are usually so close to us. And for those of you who kind of choose to be more alone, you see it very, very more clearly in people. Okay, way more clearly in people. And like I said, for those of you who come in with your hate, okay, on your shoulders, that's totally fine. Thank goodness I don't do my makeup for you. Okay? This is not a drag queen show. This is not I'm jealous. I want to talk shit show. I don't do my makeup or anything else for you particularly. So if you don't like it, you're entitled to your opinions and your feelings. You can absolutely not like it, but you also don't have to be here. Okay? So like to hit the scroll button because sometimes um, y'all be telling on yourselves with what's in your spirit. Okay? It ain't no JK. It's only JK when someone humbles you in a way that makes you feel silly. But you should already feel silly considering it's too early to wake up with that type of energy. Baby, I've been on here 5 minutes. Say hey and go about your business. Okay? And if you don't want to speak, baby, that's okay too. Hit the like button if you're a regular. For those of you who don't know, when I get to 2,000 subs, I'm going to do another cash giveaway. I did a 5,000, a 2,000, and a $1,000 giveaway already. Okay, so you are more than welcome to contribute to the channel. It will probably be going back to you or someone who is actually here consistently. I want not, so I enjoy blessing people the same way the universe blesses me abundantly. So tune in. Okay, a lot of people miss their blessings trying to act like they got it together. It is okay to not have it together. That's how messy life really is for most people, regardless of how you seem put together. Okay, let's talk about it. So I got an email from this girl named Jessica, and this is my second time getting an email from her. I apologize. The first one you sent me, I don't know if I just kind of started responding and left it in drafts, but I ended up deleting those drafts and I couldn't find the message again. So yeah, I read your message, and Jessica, okay, if you are feeling doubt in a high amount in any relationship, okay, especially your friendship, and that's the person you're living with, I suggest that you get to yourself and figure out how you want to save enough money, what you want to cut out of your budget and expenses and finances, so that you can put yourself in a position where you don't have to look over your shoulder in the place you're calling home, even if it's temporarily. You should never want to live with people. Like, I understand, oh, well, this beats being homeless, this beats, yeah, that's cool. But if it comes to you feeling like the person around you is really not for you for real, baby girl, you need to get on down. Okay, you need to get on down. They do have women's shelters. There are people who do rooming houses. I'm not telling you to just go out and just pick something, but there are a lot of places who are really nice and a lot of people who have nice homes that they want to open up, not because they want to, but because times are harder. So if you have enough money to go pay high ass rent with a roommate, a lot of times you have the ability to not have, save your credit on your name because apartments don't give you credit at all. But if you don't pay on them, I promise you they will ruin your credit. So you don't get anything out of staying in certain places. So if you're gonna do that, the least you could do is save your money and go live in a rooming house. It's not counting towards your credit. And a lot of these people are older people, or whatever it is that just need the extra money. So they'll be okay with you staying there. Maybe help clean up things like that. But it sure does have to be in a place where you don't have any privacy, and you have to split the responsibility with people who may not be as responsible as you. Okay. Oh, and to the people who are just coming in bothered, you are welcome to come in bothered because after all, you're just a stranger on the internet. No one made you click through the live streams because I promise you, I'm not just popping up on live streams. So you have to click on the live streams, go through them just to find me. So if you don't want to be here, if you don't want to see me, you don't have to. If you do want to be here and join the conversation, join. Okay. Hate is an abundant feeling for people who are underaccomplished. Okay. So I understand you being upset. It's okay. When are certain people not upset? You don't have the things in your life to be proud about. So anger is probably your top emotion. But be careful when you're angry because of what you haven't done. Because when certain people get angry, the anger they have, it's absolutely necessary and absolutely is something that will probably humble you in a way. You can't humble people because your anger is misdirected. Okay? You're mad at yourself, but you want to pretend it's other people. So you look for problems. Don't look for problems. You won't find them. Let them find you. Then you'll know what you're actually dealing with. But oh, how people be looking for trouble because they feel like, well, I'm big and bad. Okay, well, you be big and bad enough. Okay, that's totally fine. I don't have to. Again, a lot of people need to get offline and go back to working a regular job. It's more money, more peace of mind than being on the internet and stuff like that. Okay, so yeah, tune in. That's fine. How are you, sweetie? What's up, Annette? How are you? And again, y'all are welcome to hit the like button. Don't be a hater. Hi, Fishing with Flames. How are you, sweetie? Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I did. I said I haven't been here in a while, but I appreciate you so much. And my sound may not be good because maybe I'm in the desert, and that's just how service is sometimes. It's not enough ether for you to hear me clearly. But if you can hear me enough, that's cool. Thank you so much for stopping by. Fishing with Flames, okay? Flames Fishing Show. You guys, he has a channel as well. He is good people. Totally cool. If you like fishing, outdoors type of stuff, and a very nice gentleman, you're welcome to go check out his channel too. Man, we don't hate over here. Okay, so again, go check out his channel, show him some love too, all that stuff. Yeah, it's okay. I understand. I got a lot of other things going on in here electrically. So I don't really, as long as they can hear me a little bit, I'll be okay. So y'all can tune in. Like I said, if you can hear me to the best of your ability, that's cool. I'll actually be switching how I do this very soon because we're going to be in a different location too. More than likely on the homestead, and it may, I don't know if the service will get better or worse. We will find out, won't we? We will find out. So thank y'all for tuning in. And thank you for coming in and hitting that like button, okay? Thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you, Flames Fishing Show. I appreciate you, honey. It's been a minute since I've seen you. I was like, damn, where are the homies? Okay, but no, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you stopping by always. And yeah, the sound's not good. I do apologize. It happens. Okay, it happens, but it's also kind of thunderstorming and stuff like that. It's been doing like that for like the last couple days. So don't be surprised if it don't get better. But y'all are welcome to tune in. Tune in. Okay. Stop it. They be acting like they be on the phone and shit, talking to their little booty calls and stuff. Service be worse than this. Okay, stop it. If you want to stay and join, participate and have the conversation, you will. If you don't want to, that's fine. Okay. No, for real. What y'all got going today? I think it is beautiful. It's a beautiful dawn, even though it's a little chilly, a little gray weather, chemtrail over your head a little bit, but it feels pretty good. Okay. I love the contrast of the cool air, okay, coming through the windows and my candles, and yeah, I just love it. Okay, it feels wonderful. I got my wax over here going. It's melting down, but I'm just melting it down for the smells and it smells so wonderful. Coconut, some evergreen forest, just beautiful smells to kind of just okay. So yeah, y'all let me know what y'all got going. How is the weather where you fishing at? Is it sunny? Does it feel like summer already? Y'all let me know. I know a lot of people that like to fish when it rains. At least when I was fishing with my uncles and different people like that, we would always go when it's actually drizzling a little bit, and sometimes when it's just pouring, like lightly pouring. But honey, we would get so many fish. It'd be the best fish for them fish fries ever. And whatever y'all doing, y'all do it safely. May you have nothing but protection and abundance around you while you do it. Enjoy it. A lot of people don't appreciate the simple things, but honey, the simple things be keeping you through the week. Okay, appreciate them. You don't always need a whole bunch of extraness to enjoy being who you are and the activities you do. Just find good people to do them with. I promise you, they hit just as much as going on a super expensive vacation. It's the company you keep. A lot of people gotta spin that grip because they can't find the energy around them to actually make shit make sense and feel good. But if you gotta spend that much to feel good, hey, to each his own. But I enjoy having stuff in abundance, so I don't want to have to buy my happiness to a certain extent. If anything, I don't want to be moved by things like that because life always changes. It's been plenty of times where I've had everything I need in abundance and be like, why does life suck so bad? Okay, and it's not the people; it's just life in general, the process, the way the system works, things like that. It will just make you be like, I have everything I need, but what's wrong? It's the process of how you get it, the energy you lose while you get it, and so much other stuff. So tune in. If you're able to have those calm, mature conversations out of love, whatever it is, encouragement, have them. It's more people looking to rain on your parade than actually just have a decent conversation. So appreciate the people who do. And y'all know me. I always remember my regulars. Even if it's been a while, I usually remember you. And certain people, they always going to be able to come in here. I don't care if you come back 2 years later, okay? Certain people, they will always have their moderator status because they're very respectful with it and they know how to do their thing, come in abundance with an abundant spirit. And baby, that ain't no hate over here. We just gonna put you on, okay? Nothing wrong with that. And again, if y'all have channels, y'all can come in and let me know. Just like Flames Fishing Show. I don't care who you are. If you got a channel, come in and get your channel up, get your numbers up, okay? This is the internet, okay? My goal is to help a lot of people get their numbers up in real life so they can stop worrying about the internet numbers. The internet is going to go away before you ever will. So, yeah, we just don't have the energy. So make sure you make your real bonds. You never know who you might run into again in real life, okay? And a lot of people, they hate that run into you in real life energy because then you be like, oh, damn, I can't talk shit to you behind the screen. Now I got to respect you for where you are for real. Okay, so that's how I think when I come on here. I'm never really that bothered because in real life, most of these same people, they see you getting out of your Audi trucks and whatever else and be like, girl, do you want to put the gas in this motherfucker? Okay, don't be looking like that. Okay, like everything is not a flex. Everyone's not trying to flex on you. Some people just going through life because that's what the fuck you're supposed to do. So tune in or don't. Because my okay expectation and want for people is that they have just as much as they need, so they don't have to have those type of envy and jealousy or whatever it is towards other people. And you never know what people really went through to get what they have. Some people have had the worst backstories and come ups ever. Let them folks have what they have. Okay, let them have it. You don't know how long they don't have it, so what you envious of? Okay, I'm just saying. So we're gonna be talking about quite a few things, and I'm also gonna be talking about the fact that I feel there are so many older women who are trying to put younger women in the position of bad love, bad karma, and so on and so forth. There are so many older women that I feel like are trying to give younger women their bad karma. And a lot of times I think it's because they're still attached to the men their ages who have betrayed them, okay, disappointed them, or whatever. Because even when you talk to a lot of older women, the conversation tends to go towards the men in their lives, not necessarily what they want. And it leaves me with way too much room to question, is your whole life based off of this person? If you want kids or not is based off of if he wants kids or not. Okay, do you want kids? Do you have the energy for kids? Do you have the patience for kids? Okay, everything is not what a man decides or wants to choose you for. Now, for those people who make being chosen everything, I mean that's on you. Because the main people I see who have always prioritized being chosen, by the time they're ready to be unchosen, they are raining havoc on everybody's mind. Okay, I want sympathy and empathy from you because I stayed in a relationship too long that wasn't healthy for me. I let people gaslight me. I had kids with the person. I slept with the enemy and have kids with the enemy. Okay, that's what a lot of women, they want to act like it's, oh, but it's you. Of course that's going to happen to you. Look what you look like. Look how you. Okay, but when it happens to certain people, it's like they expect the whole world to stop and be like, well, because you have skinny privilege, I'm so sad that he cheated on you. Because you don't deserve to get cheated on. You're so pretty. It becomes are y'all okay? Because regardless of the age, regardless of your background, your ethnicity, your race, okay, being played by people who have no intention of doing you right anyway is more common than finding people who actually care about you. And I feel like that should be common sense knowledge. So the fact that certain people don't teach you about expectation, they don't teach you about standards. A lot of times, in order to have a relationship, you have to get rid of your standards. I don't care what nobody says. I meet more people through therapy who will come to me and have everything in their life that they should already be a millionaire, multi-millionaire at that. The only thing stopping them is the enemy they're sleeping with. Well, he wants to do this, so we invested in this, and then we got a truck for this, and he's doing this, and now he drives 18 wheelers and makes all his money, but I am struggling and doing. When you get through, I see more women who have put everything to the side to support a man who only wants what he has so he can impress the woman he could never get with it. Okay, I don't care if you're the first wife, the third wife, the 17th, you're usually getting worser and worser versions of what that person really is, especially after you include all of the intimacy and the smecks and things that these people have been exchanging. They've been exchanging that love hate energy for a while, most people. So why would you want to come behind that? Knowing most people never heal after a relationship. They never do. They be like, I'm gonna prove a point to you. There's plenty of girls that want me. Just yeah, okay. Plenty of men who want me. Look at me. Okay, like when you get through, there are more people who have never healed and jump right into a relationship than there will ever be people who learned from why their relationships even ended. So imagine just picking up the the most disgusting parts of where most relationships left off. And if we can be honest about it, the only reason a lot of people even are in relationships is because that's what they did. They were like, well, she don't want to fuck you. That's because she don't know what she's doing. She don't like sex as much as me. I remember my stepmother, when I met her, I was disgusted by her. I was. Because she, even though I was an adult, okay, I felt like she was trying to be more friendly with me by talking about things that I didn't feel were cutesy. Because I will do rituals um, with animals before I even give some of the men attention that they be giving attention. I don't give a fuck what they say. Okay, it doesn't make sense. Okay, again, she would say things to me and be like, "Girl, it's better than sex." Bitch, it's plenty of things better than sex. That's the only thing you could say to your new stepdaughter. Okay, and it lets you know what a lot of your fathers and mothers and different things are settling for in their relationships. Just the minuscule parts that after a while they don't hit the same, like smacks. Okay, so imagine saying things like that to me, and after a while, when things in your life are not better than smacks, it becomes a girl. But you, I don't know. You know how your dad. What's wrong? Just go have smacks, and it should go away, right? And this is how most women are even getting in relationships. Period. They're making themselves available sexually, over advertising roast beef coochie that they know anybody and everybody done already been in, so they can take someone else's spot and pretend that spot is going to do them more justice than the person they're trying to push out of it. And this is how it works. Whether a lot of men or women tell you, most of their hearts and minds are still with other people, and they it's their survival mechanisms. And I think it's disgusting how many people are really only married because they're trying to keep somebody else on lock. Who, if that person was to be released, that person would probably be the best version of person you've ever even been around. Could depend on the whole family. Could depend on them if certain people would let them go. And instead of making that person available to shine, most people gather in groups to try to dim their light. Literally. Okay, that's why I say be careful what you do in the dark. It always comes to the light. So whether you be like, oh, I'm just getting a divorce, or no, a lot of times it's only coming to light because you can't take the lie anymore. You can't pretend anymore. You can't pretend you're the good woman or the virtuous woman or whatever it is anymore. And then it becomes you're ready to hate on other people. Men do it, women do it. When men are jealous that they fumbled a good person, they try to make every other man in the world um, angry at all women. Okay, these women will do you, and I did this for her, and I did that, and all I did was cheat, and then she wouldn't come back to me. That's it. That's all I did was cheat, and she wouldn't come back to me. Girl, I cheated on him before, and he took me back. And the amount of people who don't understand disrespect is disrespect, and it doesn't matter how many times you do things to people. A lot of times, people are building their strength to do away with you forever, and a lot of people never get that strength because they know they're never going to stop tit for tatting you until y'all end up deleting each other, and that's dangerous. Okay, so for those of you who don't understand, in order to have a relationship these days with so many people who are narcissistic and want to be seen, like I said, I tell people all the time, I am a Leo. I am a healed Leo. I'm a double Leo, meaning I was born at dawn. Okay, so you can't say I was born at night or in the day. I was born at dawn, literally. So imagine when people don't understand. I go around all the time. Okay, and you don't be studying nobody for real. You don't have to. Okay, I feel like when you are in real Leo energy, you're chill because you can be. Like, I ain't gotta be uppity just because I know if you play with me, I'm gonna lay you down. Okay, that type of thing. It's if you know better, you move better. You don't have to move around like Cardi B and all the people still trying to prove they don't have any worth. Okay, you don't have to do that. You just carry yourself the way you carry yourself and let life happen. So the amount of people that I go around and be upset because they hate my energy, but it's because you're mimicking my energy. And when you meet people who are really in their own energy, it becomes troublesome for people who have been told that you can mimic whoever you want and get the praise and admiration of that person. Most people are literally married or dating the person who hasn't figured out that you're the copycat yet. Literally. And by the time they figure it out, only then will shit hit the fan and you have a life of trying to prove to someone else that you are not the copycat or the pretender in your relationship. The amount of women who pretend they like intercourse with the men they date is astronomical, all the way down to the men who do it. That's why a lot of marriages are smexless. Okay, but the whole couple on here, okay, trying to advertise to the world that they need some attention. Because if y'all was giving each other the proper attention, why would you need to advertise that to the world? If you wasn't struggling with money, why would you need a couples channel? And you see what I'm saying? You'd spend more time acting out your life than actually enjoying it. Because if you weren't, would you really need cameras in your face 24/7? Look at all the couples channels and marriage channels and pastors channels. How much time do y'all have to actually live your life in between trying to conduct everybody else's? The main people who trying to tell you about where to get your abundance and love and protection and everything else from are the main people begging you for money on every platform. It makes sense. When I say begging you on every platform, they beg you on every platform. If they can't get you to donate on YouTube, go on TikTok, go go on here, follow me here. They're only looking for more ways to take something. And the people who are pretending they're giving you stuff, they're still trying to overcharge you for it because it's not their stuff to give. So of course they're going to overtax it. Okay, that's like being the middleman and knowing you have the ability to tax something that ain't yours. Of course you're going to get your cut, right? And that's what the internet is. So imagine that your parents, your grandparents, all of them are already struggling with vanity and all of these things well before the internet came along. So now we're just watching how as soon as you give the older generations a way to be seen, who they push out of the way so they can be seen. So that means your childhood wasn't a lie. Your childhood wasn't narcissism. It was your same unattention given parents and grandparents trying to stand in your place and usually trying to afford it off of your hard work. If most of your parents didn't have a certain type of education, why would they be the person leading the family? If you're not the most intelligent in the family, okay, you being the oldest doesn't make you the person everyone should bow down to. And age has really become a thing where a lot of women and men alike are being tricked out of their youth and their kingdoms and queendoms by people who know they can't help you build one. You get people like Share Seven, you get people like the Level Up Guru. These people are willing to date any old man that comes along who even seems like they can put an insurance policy on him. It don't matter if he's sick, it don't matter if his dick works or not. Most of these people are looking for people to scam out of money, materialism that they cannot produce spiritually themselves. But it was not that hard to produce it spiritually if you would actually work on your spirit and not your scam artist ability. Again, but this is how I had to figure out that I was not gay the way I thought I was gay. Because most people who were saying they were gay were looking for attachments for survival. You find this out the hard way. And I've only found this out by dating women, okay, and understanding most of them were conning and scamming or looking for a step parent. Okay, the amount of girls that I would meet, and I would meet most of these girls in college and stuff. So we just be chilling, or we go to, I might even meet them in class or at the cafeteria, whatever, library, whatever. Oh, you're so pretty. Oh, I braid hair. I only charge, $60 and blah blah blah. Oh, for real? Okay, cool. You get to know people however you are around them usually, and that's how I met a lot of people. I got more comfortable with talking to people, asking them different things too. But a lot of people would automatically ask me because of how I carried myself. And it got to a point where the women who would be like, "Ooh, I'm gay too," or "My gay friend would like you," or it's always like they be trying to put someone of scam, okay, in your midst. And even the women do it. Women do it way more than men. Gay men do it way more than straight men. I don't care what y'all say. I know this from being a part of the community where I understood y'all ain't really gay. Y'all are looking for different survival attachments and using gay to do it. Okay? Those same people would absolutely cheat, steal, set up everything else to the same people they're claiming they need more rights from straight people to protect and be with these people. But they do them worse than any heterosexual relationship can get done. So there's really no balance or difference, if you ask me, in having to separate yourself from, I need protection, or this is a hate crime. And I'll say this: if women getting deleted by men is not a hate crime, if you pass away and happen to be gay or whatever it is not a hate crime for you either. Okay? If you are posing as a transgender, okay, woman, when you get deleted or whatever you go through, it is not a hate crime because it happens to you. Nor will it ever be considered a hate crime when it happens to women. And usually it is out of hate. Okay? The hate of, I hate I can't continue to destroy you. Okay, so y'all let me know what y'all think. A lot of people are going through those same absolute scenarios as we speak, which is why the people they have to listen to are people who are not letting those situations actually show up in their life and take charge. Like I said, a lot of the main women who repeat my content are women who pretend to have it together. But if you had it together, you would need to repeat my content. Don't care who you are. You wouldn't have to talk about men all day if you understood men. You wouldn't have to talk about like certain people. They just really bother me because I feel like at their big ages, what's wrong with you? Why are you still so angry? It's so much more activities to do in life besides the activities that show so much genuine hatred for one opposite person. So a lot of people, this is, it may be an unpopular opinion. I don't give a fuck. I'm not here to be popular. Okay. Luckily, I'm popular in my real life, so I'll be like, you know, I don't care. Okay. So people like Cynthia G, the Exoticals channels, and these are all really women, okay, who still hate the person they're claiming they don't want no dealings with. But if you really think about people like Cynthia G, you're telling people to abort, okay, their sons, but you are also a black woman, quote unquote, supposedly, who have black sons yourself. So imagine always being a participant in the very thing you're trying to stop in everything else. But the people who have not followed your path are the people that y'all act like you're shitting on. Okay, in other words, the only people who have a chance to survive what you did are the people y'all are standing in the way of so that we can form the bonds and community we need to not have to move like you did. Okay, so that's why it's important to me to have channels like mine to allow people to find the information they need. And you ain't gonna have to come back 2, 3 years later. If you do, it's just for reassurance that you're making the right decisions, not because someone is begging you for money, just because we had a genuine conversation about something you're going through. Like, imagine when people are overcharging you just have a fucking conversation about shit they know damn well they going through too. Ridiculous. Okay? The real definition of it seemed like everybody didn't hit the wall. Okay? And the wall is hitting their ass back. Okay? Thank you for letting us know what point of emotion you're at so we can play off that as soon as we get rid of the way you release your emotion. When I pay attention to stuff like this, I realize that this is a way for most people who don't really have friends in real life, don't really fuck with their families in real life, to have a way to escape. Okay, there's more people on here who should be watching their kids preparing dinner, and they on here trying to see what you. Hey, oh, that's nice. Sit down, Junior. Nah, nah, nah. And you'd be like, why can't you just fucking be a parent? That's what you signed up to do. You didn't sign up to be a content creator for real. You didn't sign up for the technology that came for the new generation, but you want to be a part of it so bad. Okay, every generation has had their technologies. Okay, if you don't know how to work a beeper, it's because the beeper wasn't for your generation. Okay, the real definition of if you can't understand that your elders are still the ones trying to stand in the place of you and pretend that they are the ones who should be allowed to think for you when they couldn't even choose freedom for themselves. Only Harriet Tubman and the few that decided to follow, okay, chose freedom. The rest of your elders and ancestors that y'all claim to be praying to, they were sellouts and betrayalists. Okay, in other words, they were willing to love white supremacy and hate you as long as it means they didn't have to do any more work. So who's really tired? Okay, y'all been talking about Martin Luther King forever. How many people from our generation, young men and young women alike, have passed away in their primes of youth trying to fight for equality and everything else? I don't see y'all giving them days. The real definition of they will forever try to stand in the place of even the newer generations. How many young people have passed away and those young people didn't have a bad record? They were fighting as activists correctly, respectfully. Okay, they were interviewing the right people. They went to college. Some of them did not go to college. They just had a really good job, supported their families. How many people from other generations of youth still living have people that they're memorializing the way they want to keep all of the colorists and racists on your mind fresh every year of your damn life, literally. Okay, there's not one year they're going to go to school and not teach you about George Washington. There, there's not one year they're going to send your kids to school and not teach them about Rosa Parks, okay, and the Blue Vein societies, biracials who keep standing in the place of black people and claiming you have your rights as long as I have them. Okay, y'all can take this how I want to. This is why channels like the Exoticals, I'm a Black Exotical, this is why they exist, because they're still pretending they support Rosa Parks and people like this, but in reality, they're making it to where you can never pass these people because you're trying to stand in the place of them. You're mimicking them. Okay. I thought it was funny when I don't consider myself an exotical. Yes, I am Black Puerto Rican and Black American, but all my life, there's not one Black person outside of the haters who really saw me differently as Black. They didn't treat me differently. Nothing. Okay. All the way down to my own father. Okay. So imagine when people are expecting you to have this preferential treatment of being a preference to themselves, but really the same way you don't appreciate the differences in people that are your skin tones is the same way the world will turn around and try to do that. The difference is the world cannot afford to dismiss me the way the Black community feels they can afford to do it. Okay, so when you be like, but you're not Black, I don't care what you think. I've been in Black spaces, claimed as Black my whole life. It don't matter what you knew or didn't know. So claiming people who don't even ask to be claimed is the reason why you can't claim yourself in positions of power, that you have enough talent and gifts for every person to be in. And this is not just Black people. I can only speak from my point of essence, but this is every race of people still has losers and underaccomplished people and networkers who are standing in the place of the people's image they're trying to keep suppressed so they can walk in it. Okay, I don't care if it's Jesus, I don't care if it's rock and roll stars. I don't care who it is. Your older generation of people don't want to grow up. Okay, they still want Ozzy Osbourne. Oh, y'all have so much more talent underneath you. Why are you still trying to keep talent from your generations over everybody else's talent and then wonder why the world is going backwards? Because you won't move. Okay, move out of the way. Okay, be quiet. We don't need to hear your opinions from, well, in the last 72 years, this is what's been going on. You've had 62 years to tell the world what the fuck you've seen and gone through. All of a sudden, you're motivated to come. No, it's because you're trying to compete with your youth instead of letting your youth be youthful. The main time of creation for a lot of people is when they are in their middle age time. Okay, their early 20s. Okay, their 30s. You don't even need kids in this time. And if your parents actually cared the way they say they did, they would have been encouraged you to stop having kids so young so that you can establish yourself first. A lot of great people, people who have kingdoms and queendoms, they always wait to have their children until everything else is in order. That's common sense. If you don't have to have a child at 18, why would you have one? If you don't have to have a child at 24, why would you have one? And then you have a world full of people who want you to feel sorry for them because now you're 32 with an 8-year old and a 12-year-old and you struggling. You didn't need the kids before you had the kingdom. Where else are you going to keep those kids safe? Certainly not the peasants you're expecting to raise and educate them. Because after all, how can you only teach people about a past they never lived through? And the people who actually lived through this history, most of them are passed away. So to continue teaching about history that is no longer the current reality is crazy. Hello, how are you? Buen dia. Buen dia, buen dia, buen dia. Thank you for coming in, hitting that like button. I know it's early. Ah, bom dia. Bom dia, Kawa. Do you speak Portuguese? Habla portugués? Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. You are more than welcome to join the conversation. And again, I talk about things like this because I can. I'm also well traveled enough um, to actually come. Okay. I'm guessing you don't speak Portuguese or Spanish because you would have already responded in Portuguese. But it's okay. Lord knows who you are pretending to be someone else because you could absolutely just come in and speak Portuguese if you want to. You can come in and speak Portuguese or Spanish or Italian, okay, if you want to. I learned Portuguese before I learned Spanish, but I'm actually going to Brazil in a couple months, so you're more than welcome to tune in, sub to the channel. You never know if I'm in the area close to you because we ain't going places to show out on people. We really going there for our spiritual connections because we're rooted there. Okay, so I have lots of Brazilian blood in my family, particularly on my mom's side. So yeah, I still fuck with all my family there too, and believe it or not, a lot of them don't even want to come to America, not even to visit. If anything, they'll be like, "You just come here, okay? We good, okay?" And I can understand it. It absolutely is a big cultural difference, but it also depends on what quality of life you're willing to be grateful for. So yeah, the more you move around, you understand why certain people prefer good health and a whole lot of not materialism, and then you always pay attention to the people who turn around and then they actually want, that type of materialism because they don't respect the fact that you've been given your culture in abundance. And sometimes that's all you need to survive the next couple generations. So, do you want to survive the next couple generations, or you want to be a part of the countries who are destroying their economies and people from the inside out with materialism? Okay, you wouldn't need certain things if you understand that. Baby, I'm not gonna burn my nails. How clear I am. Welcome. Why, thank you. You seem like a very beautiful person too. And again, thank you for coming in. Hit the like button, join the conversation. And you're more than welcome to let me know how you feel about certain things, about dating, about traveling, about the quality of life. Um, I just can't understand so many people competing for a lower quality of life than 30, 40 years ago. And instead of appreciating the times a lot of people come from, they're so busy trying to be current and up to date. The things of their generation are going to be forgotten about probably within the next 20, 30 years themselves. And then you'll be sitting here explaining to people why you're dressed like your granddaughters at the age of 60 and 70. Okay, real definition of the more you look up, the more you see. A lot of older people do not want to age. They hate aging. Okay, and instead of aging, they will attach to anything of youth, stand in the place of it, um, promote like they are the thing that thinks for you, that sort of thing. And I just feel like it's a whole big cycle of everyone has been taught white supremacy, and most people are still trying to operate it in it, regardless of if they benefit from it. And this goes for white people too. Okay, if you're not a rich white person, if you're not the white person everyone can depend on, a lot of times you're going to be a loner too. They're going to see you as a lower quality a person when really you're just not making yourself available to be used by people you know have taught you that's what you're here for. So yeah, if you decide to think outside of that, good for you. Okay, because you are way more than just being someone's, lay on your back bed wench or whatever. Again, a lot of people's BS couldn't survive if there wasn't a person slow enough to keep surviving their bloodline. So how dare I? Okay, how dare I be honest? Okay, and a lot of people are upset because even after they went through their generations and saw what was going on in those generations, they still decided to procreate from those generations of chaos. And that becomes a okay then. Okay. Real definition of these are the main people who be asking you, where my grandkids at? When you gonna give me some grandkids? When you grow the fuck up. I don't care what people think. I don't care what they say. Sometimes working around older people used to seem like a dream when you're younger. You're like, we won't be petty, it won't be childish. Baby, petty on petty on petty on petty. Okay, is what you be getting. You be like, I be want to slap all these old ladies here. Okay, like after a while, you be like, I see why they certain generations are so in deep beef with each other when it comes to the gender wars and things like that. This shit has been going on well before you even thought about it. Okay. And so by the time you really understand what's going on, you be like, babe, this is a war I don't even think I want to fight. Okay, I think we gotta join a different battle because this ain't for us. And certain people want to make sure you know they are the face of this battle. Let them be the face of it. Let your older generations keep being the face of anger and fake civil rights. Because if you was ever fight for civil rights, ain't none in this world right now would be this damn expensive. Okay, inflation wouldn't ever look like it looked if you was fighting for something that had to do with your kids having more than you. Okay, by the time the price of them eggs and milk and shit went up, when shit wasn't 30 cents no more, you should have already been in the street arguing about that. Okay, because like I said, why wouldn't you? If it was you, you would have been in the street crying and fighting about it. Okay, your kids were too young to understand what the hell was happening. Okay, so where is that fight now? It seems like y'all took y'all fight to settling for the white supremacy, and then complaining about everyone who else who is white and living their truth. Okay, make it make sense. Okay, you can't stop white people from being racist if they're taught racism. But if you teach your kids colorism, you are pretty much a racist too. Okay, and let's be honest, most people only have parents a lot of times because your parents are colorist. What your mama and your daddy usually look like? If he ain't a lighter skinned man or a red bone and she's dark, okay, then he's dark skinned. She like, stop it. Most people who even have kids in the black community, it's because they are products of colorism usually. So of course you're fucked up. Of course you don't get along with people. Of course you have to overprove yourself. Of course no one taught you about mating season or prepared you for it because they never wanted you to separate from their ignorance. If I don't teach you, okay, train up a child in the way that they should go. And if you ain't training them up to go nowhere, where the hell they gonna go but to the only place they know, home. Okay, so yeah, I don't care what you say. If you wanted to be okay, like living lavishly while your kids are like, hey mama, I paid the mortgage off. Do you want to go on that trip next week? Okay, your kids can't fucking do that because you're not putting your kids in positions like Beyonce is doing Blue Ivy. Beyonce didn't give a fuck about how ugly y'all called her child. Y'all was still dropping bands to come see that same child y'all called ugly and put money in their pockets. So she made sure you know, I don't care how you disrespect yours or don't put yours in position. Let me show you how it's done. And I'm going to use your lack of money and knowledge to do it. Because if you had sense, why would you support people who know they only want to be supported so they can shit on you? And you're going to help them do it every time because the isms are more important in most people's community than anything. So shout out to Beyonce for showing y'all. Y'all ain't going to talk about my child and not pay for it. She's still taxing you for them seats to this day. Good for you. Okay, good for you, Beyonce. Tax some more. Okay, tax some more. Because when it comes to the fact that most people will let people dog walk their kids in public and private, they will let your aunties and close cousins or whoever come over and just straight play with you in your face your entire life. And these are the people you actually have to go out into the world and overprove yourself against and things like that. When most of them ain't fucking with you because they don't have the type of reserve and aura and essence about them that having your type of parent created in you. Okay, a lot of their parents just as childish as them. They talking about y'all family as a family, and y'all talking about each other to outside people as a family. Okay, that's usually what most people be getting into. Families that do their bullshit together and families that keep their bullshit together. Okay, in other words, if we can't keep the bullshit with you around, you out of here. It ain't about truth teller, it ain't about scapegoats. If you can't help certain families keep their bullshit together, they want you out the picture. If you ain't gonna hype me when I ain't doing shit to be hype, they out the picture. That's how thing. Okay, they could be doing everything wrong, but if you come in the picture hyping their wrongness and making them feel good about it, honey, you the next favorite. And that is what most people really be looking for. And thank you so much for the gifts. I appreciate you. But yeah, I just feel like the conversation is not honest enough for most people. And the honest conversations is the most raw ones. I feel like the conversations get funnier the more honest you get. Okay, people can talk about, oh, let's talk about these celebrities. I don't want to talk about none of that shit. Let's talk about the real shit that really make you belly laugh and sit up and be like, clutch your pearls and yeah. Most people's real life stories are so much more interesting than anything they could ever televise. Anything. I don't care if it's a play. I don't give a fuck about Anne Frank. I don't care what it is they keep trying to. Did you guys know this? I don't give a fuck about that. Did you know this? Okay. From this time, it's so many people want you to operate in ancestry they never gave you. Okay. And they purposely mixed up your ancestry. So, what ancestors are you praying to? What ancestors are you asking from guidance from? If they couldn't guide themselves, I don't think them your ancestors you asking for guidance from. If being honest and sharing your life experiences that have brought you to a different understanding is seen as disrespectful, I don't think most of y'all have parents and elders who actually love you. Because imagine when you speak the truth about what's wrong with older generations, they call it disrespectful. So, how is telling your truth disrespectful, but you berating my truth is acceptable? How is someone who had to do the work and do the work in a time where inflation costs more than even life itself? Okay, how is that able to not be heard when most people who still want to be heard, you are able to afford a car, a house, a job, a this, a that, kids too. You probably have six, seven, a million kids. Most people now still thinking about what's going to happen if they can't afford one. Y'all know I ain't lying. Okay, so talk about it because a lot of people don't like to hear conversations like this, so they're already at a point where they have became a part of the problem. In other words, I got with this dude and had his baby. I got with this girl. I thought she was a baddie. Now I got a baby with her and she ain't shit. Yeah, most people are still dealing with the consequences of making a bloodline with a pretender. Okay, you thought she was exotical. Okay, then came in there and caught her with that wig off and was like, really? Damn you. Most of y'all have been got by the pretenders. And when you meet people who are the real versions of the people y'all have pretended to get with, only then do you realize most people ain't going backwards if they've already bypassed the bullshit. And I'm very much one of those people. Okay. So by the time you come here talking your shit, I'm gonna humble you quickly because I lived my life off the internet before I ever decided to come here. Okay, nor was I really expecting to come here and get a certain type of reaction. But it's sad when there's so little truth in the world. When you speaking it, you're gonna be monetized so quick. Okay, because they're gonna be like, oh my God, this is so raw. This is so. But imagine when I've been here long enough to see that people 10, 15, 20 years older than me are using my truth as content. You know how crazy that is? And then people wonder why the world is the way it is in certain communities. You're making other people's truth and reality the very thing that you use to put yourself ahead. And it ain't for you. It's not. That's why I laugh at people like, look at my testimony. Your testimony ain't nothing more than you talking about the betrayal that you're still trying to get over. That's why you're going through what you're going through. Someone around you, someone connected to you. Most of the time, the people that had you, they betrayed you, and you still trying to keep their names alive for what we don't know. But that's literally the case. Okay, so a lot of people, if only they knew the things I already know about their bloodlines, you can't help them because they're still trying to uplift the people who betrayed them many generations ago. Like so many generations ago, they should be embarrassed that they think they have ancestors. A lot of people's bloodline betrayals have been going on for so long, so long, and that's okay. I told you guys earlier in the chat that the service is a little bad. It's kind of bad weather right now. Okay, it's bad weather in the desert. So yeah, it is a little iffy. But if you can hear me for the most part, that's fine. That is fine. And again, thank you for the gift. I appreciate it. Thank you for joining the community. And don't forget to sub. When I get to 2,000 subs, I'm going to do another cash giveaway for you guys. So, yeah. Oh, that's okay. So, for the people who are asking me about spirit animals, I'm going to upload that in my members only. Just because I understand that it's something that may go against other people's understanding of psychology, of biology, and many other things like that. So I'm going to do it privately for those of you who actually are interested in that sort of thing. And for those of you who just want to have the general conversations, we're going to have those right here. Okay, we're going to have those right up here in the open. I am going to start doing more videos for you guys, for those of you who asked. I'm not sure if you guys get them late, see them late, whatever. If you got your notifications on, just make sure you go back, like, comment if you want to, that sort of thing, so that I will know to keep it active and keep it coming for you, specifically if you enjoy that type of content. Yeah, closed mouth don't get fed, honey. Okay, so join the conversation. And again, thank you for coming in here like that. And okay, I know it's bright and early for some people. They probably just woke up, ain't brushed their teeth yet. Okay, but regardless of if you did just get up or not, I hope you have a beautiful day, a safe day, a productive day, all of the above. And again, you don't have to be here. So when you come through and you hit that like button, you join the conversation, you spread your nice wind, your words. Okay, it's always appreciated here. Okay, I don't care who don't appreciate the essence of people, but one day you're gonna wake up and that's the only thing that's gonna be missing, the people. So enjoy. Okay, enjoy the people who still have a mind enough to think for themselves and hold a conversation that's not robotic. And again, I'm sorry that the connection is not good, but the weather is also very iffy. It's been like that for a couple days now, so I definitely get it. I definitely get it. You guys, should I buy someone lunch today on here? You guys let me know. And if I should, okay, I'll come back around lunchtime and we'll buy somebody lunch today. Okay? We'll feed someone just because we can. And whether they eat with it, whether they go buy some drugs with it, whether they go put gas in their car, we don't care. We're just gonna say it's lunch. That's what we're gonna say. Oh, give me just a second, you guys. Let me take this. What's up, guys? Okay, so that was quick. But yeah, y'all tune in, join the conversation. For those of you who be telling me about your love life, I really need you to understand love is a distraction for people who have a higher destination. And if you ever get so caught up in love that you forget that everyone was not put here to be a concubine, okay? At that point, will you remember um, when you're going through your depression, when you're going through your midlife crisis or different things? Only then will you understand I have wasted so much time waiting on something from someone that they don't even have to give me and never will. Okay, so at some point, it's absolutely you allowed yourself to stay so long, or you allowed yourself to be so burdened by things you can't control that you're stuck. Okay, it's not just a rabbit hole or called a rabbit hole for a reason. Most people, their own story is a rabbit hole they can't get out of. And I think the best way to get out of it is to tell your story. Literally. A lot of people be trying to tell the story they think other people want to hear, that they gonna empathize and tell your story. That I promise you that shit's gonna feel so good when you finally get it out. Can't nobody taunt you about it. Can't nobody laugh at you about it. Can't nobody take your abundance, okay? Because you told your story. There's nothing they could take from you, okay? It's you, okay? This do in remembrance of me, your life. You're doing this in remembrance of you. The only people who have time to be remembering ancestors and other things are people that can have gifts to speak to the dead. Okay? It's the reason why they tell you not to talk to the dead. Because if you don't have the gift of it, there's no reason for you to be trying to keep the memories of the dead alive. They don't talk to you. Certain people have convinced you that history is dead people wanting to remember you. And that's not how it operates. The dead people who want you to remember them, oh, baby, they coming. Okay, they coming like ghost writers right in your face. And most of them have the most humane essence ever because they've been here longer playing the game than you. And yes, to a lot of ghost writers, it's a game because it's so easy to connect to people spiritually based off their trauma when they don't know what ancestry they come from. And that's purposely done. That way, when you feel familiar, most people don't even understand. You only procreate with familiar spirits. That's it. And I don't care how them familiar spirits get to you, they only come in because they have encountered you before, whether in a dream or in your past life. They've seen your face, they know your name, they know your numbers, and they follow you right into this damn realm because they know they are the only thing that you could ever dream about that will make this whole reality go to hell if they're in your life and you allow it. Okay, sometimes you can want certain people, certain careers, certain things so bad that you don't understand. The only thing that you getting that is going to bring to you is an early demise because you got it. And a lot of times that's why they say be careful what you ask for. Usually, depending on the ghost writers that are around you in the spiritual realm, you gonna get it. They gonna move everything around you, everybody around you, to make sure they're in a position to devour you. And if they are your real ancestors, they're gonna always let you know when you're moving stupid, and it's gonna be people closer to you that have to let you know you're moving stupidly because you only listen to familiar spirits. People who only listen to outside spirits are usually the betrayers of their own bloodlines. In other words, you listen to anybody but your own bloodline when only certain bloodlines understand how they operate. At that point, you are the traitor in your family. Okay, everybody's family is not terrible people and this and that. No, a lot of people just want to separate so they can have their own kingdom without bringing the family along. In other words, I'll create my own kingdom, but you've been given a bloodline to do that with. Certain people in the family may not agree to disagree, but a lot of that comes from the isms people won't let go of. The history that's already been played out that y'all trying to keep alive. So again, the people who talk the most about history and different things like that, and they're not talking about their true history, these are usually the people who end up in the most chaotic relationships and marriages, and usually they last so long because of the constant chaos. Okay, chaos loves company, and if you're used to chaos and call it excitement, call it the ups and downs of marriage, and whatever the fuck you call it, you are usually the people who have the most chaos in your lives, and you bring the most chaos along with you in every generation you create, every person you bring into this generation. They have a little bit of your chaos to let out. Be careful of creating through your trauma because most of your kids are literally nothing more than trauma bonds waiting to be played out. And once you realize that, heal your trauma before you ever think about having kids. If you already have kids, you need to be trying to heal the trauma your ass and already put in them. It's inevitable. Okay? If you can't heal it in them, there's nothing you can heal in anyone else. Okay? Your kids are really a telltale sign of if you are able to overcome your own trauma. And the people who prove that they can't overcome their trauma in themselves, they put that trauma right into their kids. Doesn't matter if your dad or mom beat your ass your whole life. Okay? You don't have to beat your kids. It don't matter. Okay? If you quit school and got a job, your kids don't have to do that. Okay? It don't matter if you had a baby at 16. You don't have to encourage your kids to do that. Okay? Real definition of a lot of people pass down their trauma purposely because they make it seem like, look, I survived doing this. But as times change, as energies change, as more protector spirits leave this realm because they don't have anything to protect, your kids are going to go through a worse hell than you ever could imagine. And you're not going to be able to have any tools or understanding or essence around you to help get them out of it. You're going to watch the world devour your children. And we're in a time where most people are watching their kids be devoured and just waiting on it to happen. In other words, they're so distracted by the distractions their kids have no one to even be concerned about them. The same way you see all these content creators showing off their kids and look at my family, look at my. When you get through, if you were actually paying attention to what's around you, a lot of times abundance could come to you quicker. Okay, you would have to look for outside help from people who really have chaos to bring you. And most people who come bringing chaos, they usually come bearing gifts. How else can they get your attention? Oh, this is beautiful. I'm going to read that later. Hold on, guys. And thank you for those of you who send me kind words, encouragement, all of those things. I appreciate you. I do. All right, you guys. It's getting colder. Oh, goodness. It's getting colder. It is. I gotta think about. I don't know if I want to actually catch this flight or not. I'm gonna see if there's a different way for me to get there. I might take the train or something. Y'all, when I tell y'all I'll be wanting those extra breaks and few days and stuff like that, it's not always about getting places quick for me. A lot of times I'm okay getting to places slower, taking the roads less traveled. I just feel you learn so much more from those type of experiences. You meet more quality people, more peaceful people a lot of times. A lot of people are more private. And if you're ever one of those people who really do value privacy, depending on how you take your transportation, really does have a big effect on how your energy is by the time you get there. A lot of times when I do airports, different things like that, I notice that my energy is tired before I even get where I'm going, even if it's only 2, 3 hours, 2, 3, 4 hours, or whatever. Oh, I was on the flight for 2.5 hours, and then I had to wait here at the airport for 2 hours or whatever, blah 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 blah. But by the time you get there, you feel like you've gone through a whole day. There's so many different energies that you go through. I just had to learn what worked for me, what didn't. And when I would do a lot of airport traveling and stuff like that, boy, the energy that's passing through there, okay, I'd be like, oh God, okay, and everybody's already be looking at you like you're the devil because they can't read you, okay, so I read them, okay, and y'all know I love the ability that I speak other languages because a lot of times if I don't want to be bothered, I just speak a different language, and at that point, the people who don't understand the language, they ain't got nothing to say to you but over there, okay, okay, they don't know what you're saying, okay, and it works, okay, it works every time. And it's really how I keep my peace because I don't want unfamiliar or familiar spirits talking to me in a place where you shouldn't be approaching me here. Okay, you don't even know me, you have no reason to know me. It's a place where you're just traveling to different places. Okay, so like I said, I'll probably rebook my flight and I'll probably cancel it and use the points another time, but more than likely I'll probably take a train or something to get to the other location I'm going to next week. I don't care. It's too much in the air, literally. It's too much in the air, and they don't understand that. I ain't taking phone calls until 10 o'clock. So, and that's that. What's up, you guys? What is up, you guys? Again, come in, hit the like button, subscribe. Y'all know y'all are welcome to come in, have your own conversations. I like to talk about the real and true, at least for what's for me, the things that I've overcome. A lot of people, if you don't have the real conversations, how are you going to be able to overcome them, okay? Or see them happening in the people around you that you claim to love and not help them through it. So a lot of times, everything ain't got to be for you, okay? Sometimes if you respect and love your kingdom, you got to be able to help different people out of different situations. And that takes being selfless enough to understand when people are going through different situations. A lot of people stop understanding when unfamiliar situations happen. At that point, they're like, well, I don't know what to tell you. Figure it out, okay? Because a lot of people are depending on you to be their extra eyes, their extra whatever. That's what you are when you are considered family for real. I don't care if it's your spiritual family. Notice when people aren't themselves and help them get back to themselves because that helps you stay on one accord. Okay? That's one less person you gotta be worried about. That's one less person you have to go through grief about if something was to happen to them, type thing. People are so selfish they forgot that it ain't every man for itself. Somebody created that spirit in you and then said, you shall do as I tell you. And that's divide. Okay, so the more they divide, the more you are going to demise. Okay, and you're not going to have anybody there when you go through your demise, and that's the biggest point of having a tribe. You were never meant to go through death alone. Death is a beautiful experience. Everyone is made to love on you while you pass. Okay, so again, you're supposed to be remembered. This do in remembrance of me. Okay, so yourself. Okay, you're doing this for you. I don't care who else didn't do it right, what they messed up. Listen to people, okay, with a grain of salt. In other words, you can hear what they're saying, but make sure you put some salt around those words so they don't consume you. It is not your path. It's not done in remembrance of you. You are hearing their remembrance. Okay, and I don't know about you, a lot of remembrance comes through a grapevine. And by the time it gets to the newer generations, baby, it's all misconstrued. Okay, I don't care how you hear it the first time. I promise you, the grapevine misconstrued it before it got to you too. So it's not always in your best interest to overconsume what people are calling history. Is it your history? Okay, don't nobody know your history better than you. That's why when you go to the doctor, they gotta ask you your history, don't they? Do you have a history of this? Do you have a history of? Don't nobody know your history like you. You better get learning before they take away the very few tools they gave you to remember you. That's all I'm saying. I still believe in libraries. I still believe in gathering in places where you don't have to worry about the government. In my honest opinion, I think it's so crazy how good programming works. Um, the programs and parasites that they put together to have people in the mental places that they're in to operate as robots is amazing. It is because there are so many people who have the ability to gather in large numbers in private spaces, and they all gather there in the name of the government. And all of these places could be used to gather in private. Look how many people have churches, and all of them could gather there to literally help themselves. And that's the only place they have where the government ain't listening to every word they saying. You could literally say, up, leave your phones at the door. Okay, we here to talk about how the fuck we gonna get out of this debt, how we gonna start our own colleges, how we're gonna imagine when the only place most people have to actually remember them damn selves and separate from the people who got them like little puppets, praying for shit they can just separate from. The only space they get, they in them places praising the supremacy, praising the religions that they gave them. So they actually have a place of privacy, their churches, their buildings. Okay. And they still in there choosing to go along with the system. Who ain't no robots? Who's not programmed? Who's not stuck in a matrix? Okay. They literally know that they're giving you the space to go gather in private numbers, in larger numbers. And you could go to church every Sunday and don't ever open them Bibles. You could go there every day and make sure they come in church clothes. And by the time I get there, okay, now everybody put on your workout clothes. We finna work out in the name of health. Okay, we're gonna get this together because we can't. Y'all sit down all damn day. The whole church, okay, is unhealthy or burdened with some type of addictions. Okay, so coming to church. Imagine if you could just come to church. Okay, play like you praising white supremacy or whatever they gave you to praise and actually get your lives in the tip top shape you ever done got them in. You could take up offerings every Sunday and split the money to make sure everybody's straight enough to do their part. You said you can't pay your rent. Y'all, we're going to raise the offering for such and such. This going to the lights, this going to whatever, this going to sister such and such. Okay, she makes sure we have that. When you get through, you can do things the way you want to, and you still have to go to these places to give reverence to your false history of self hatred. And this is not a particular race. This is every race that has the position of separating themselves through religion. Religion was really created so you didn't have to go along with the bull. But eventually somebody woke up and said, let's believe the bull and actually lose our only place of separation from people who are literally got us in a bind, mind, body, soul. Okay, so I absolutely know what I'm talking about. I used to think about it every time I would go to church with my dad and be like, you here got all these people out their spirits, hopping around, chaotic. A lot of these people have mental illnesses all sorts of things. And instead of calming them with music, with encouragement, blessing them with abundance that you're taking from them, okay, their trust, you in here getting their lives more off track. They're not going to be able to afford their own funerals because they in here trying to give you the money because they and after a while you know this, you watch it happen. Okay, so after a while, I don't care what people say. Most most people, ethnicity, race, whatever, they bind themselves. Okay, it's everyone else's job to get you out of that. Okay, so it's not that white people are better. It's not that no certain people have already taken themselves out of the equation of suppression. Okay, so past that point, everyone else's oppression really is something that is self-inflicted, and most people are waiting on you to really see we never thought like this. Okay, certain people just won't give up this type of thinking because that means at that point you have to go against what you know takes more common sense. It's going to take you getting out of the way. It's going to take you being quiet because you don't understand it. You've never had the mindset to understand it. So when you don't understand, the best thing for you to do is get out of the way and let the generations that understand what's going on take the lead. Imagine wanting to lead when you're not the leader. But if it's time for war, you think people are supposed to use their youth to pass away so you can tell their stories. No, get out of the way if you want people to actually fight who have the energy, the knowledge, the expertise, the love, the hate, whatever it is they need, they know how to channel it enough to get it done in a way that you couldn't. And that's what every generation is facing. Okay? It's a beautiful thing when you come to the reality of what's happening. But it's a sad thing because most people have to separate from the only families they know just to tell their stories. Because the family is the main one keeping their stories on hush or trying to taunt them about the things they know is destroying them spiritually. Okay? I tell people all the time, a lot of the pain you carry, a lot of the misdirection you have, it ain't even yours. If you would get rid of it, your path would lay itself, and all you have to do is walk along it because you're the only person that have the shoes and the feet to walk that path for real. And the people you need on that path, they're going to come through familiar spirits. Okay, so at that point, it's your job to understand your senses in a way that you're going to know if that's a familiar spirit or unfamiliar spirit pretending. It's really that simple. And let's be honest, how many people have been tricked by an unfamiliar spirit pretending to be familiar? Mostly everyone. Okay, most people still getting done like that to this day. And then only when it reveals himself are most people going to laugh now, cry later. Okay, that is what the journey of life is about. If you're able to trust in no man, only me. Okay, in other words, can you trust yourself to bond with people? Can you trust yourself to have friends? Can you trust yourself to have children? Can you trust yourself to do all the things they keep coercing you into doing through perverted knowledge? By the time you ask yourself that, a lot of people had already made the mistakes they can't take back, and they knew they couldn't handle it either. That's why certain people, you can't tell me nothing. I don't care how young you think I am. I don't care about any of that. Once you live long enough, you understand that you have to go well above your elders to get knowledge. You have to go well above your oppressors, okay, to get knowledge, to get alignment. And for the people that understand that, you have no elders. Your elders are still, if they ever got a chance, they will knock you off just because they don't want to hear or see you be more of an elder to your generations than they were able to be. And that's still where we're at to this day. Like I said, you explain what Martin Luther King Day is doing for me. Explain what Juneteenth is doing for me. How does Rosa Parks have a day, but not Harriet Tubman? All Rosa did was sit down, right? And didn't want to get up. And y'all praised this biracial lady who went on to have a full generation of biracials to this day. But you won't praise the lady who actually freed the slaves. Real definition of the isms real strong in certain communities, and their own ignorance don't even allow them to see it. There's not a biracial in the world who's going to praise you just for being a black person who did something of civility. So why would certain people want praise for it? Again, I don't care what people say, how you feel about it. It's ignorance, and ignorance is bliss. I could go on and on about the people who live a different lifestyle and have a different privilege as actual biracials mixed with white, and they still try to be the face of civil rights and politics. And after a while, you'd be like, why? Where is your anger coming from? Why is it so misdirected when you've already been given privileges? Certain people that you're fighting for the rights of will never have, no matter how hard you fight. What are you fighting? I feel most people forget certain people are fighting for their position over you, their ability to stand in the place of you. That's what most people are here fighting for. We are fighting for the ability to stand in the place of you and make you praise us for it because you have to forcefully accept it or you're going to be extincted. Okay? But the thing is, imagine extincting yourself at a time where they have literally forced you to hate yourself to where you don't even want to procreate with yourself. And it's a mind, body, soul, spirit war. Okay? So people ain't going through spiritual warfare, they're going through self hatred. What about yourself? Did you stop loving? When did you stop loving? Who convinced you to stop? Who told you you need to change it? I don't care what nobody say. I don't want to see nobody hold their fist in no air if you don't rock your fro. Sit down. If you can't change your fro to look like it's been pressed out, you need to be quiet. Same thing with men. Okay. Everyone's not a Rasta all of a sudden. A lot of people are so sworn into self hatred. They have turned self hatred into fashion. And then turn around and be looking at you like, but your makeup ugly. But I know who I am. With it on and when I take it off. Okay, so when you get through, a lot of people are still struggling with the fact that self hatred has the world on edge. And everybody wants to stand in the place of somebody else's race right now, or their ethnicity, or their accomplishments, or their thought processes. That's how robotic the world is. Imagine when you could come on here and just be like, y'all, let's talk about Chris Brown concert. We have hundreds of thousands of people in here who will never meet Chris Brown in their fucking life. And Chris Brown will let you know, okay, that he will skin bleach and procreate with any race in the world other than what he came from. And there'll still be more people in here of a certain hue jumping up and down just to talk about somebody who laughs in your face and still is waiting to take out your pockets for it. Oops. How dare I? And I can't talk my shit. I don't sign NDAs for no reason. I've written songs for Chris Brown. So ask his team where they get a lot of the knowledge for the junkies that they have to actually, do the A&R and research for. Because most of them are not even in their right minds enough to ever write anything of their own. Oops. Real definition of talk your shit when you can. Because you could never, okay? To the point where you can't even pay me enough to write for people who hate people who look like me. How dare you? Okay, imagine when people be like, I like you because you exotical. Well, I used to like you when you knew you was black. But everyone's a skin bleacher and a exotical claimer now. But when they meet real exoticals, and we know that we dark too, they be looking at us like, but why you ain't trying to be exotical? Bitch, because I know what I am. I'm great in my darkness. My darkness is beautiful. That's what makes me exotic, bitch. The fuck? So past a certain point, you be looking at people like, how dare you disrespect yourself? And you're still being praised because of it. Certain people who are famous wouldn't even be praised if they weren't self-haters. You wouldn't even like them. You wouldn't like Janae Echo. You wouldn't like Brian McKnight. All the people that hate themselves have always hated themselves openly. Okay, I don't care what people say. It becomes a sad thing to see. You can only get famous when you start releasing yourself and adopting what everyone else wants to see on you. Struggle, pain, deceits, betrayal, okay, leaving your own tribes for other tribes to give them everything that you acquire. Okay, in other words, I'm willing to get rich just to leave it to another tribe. That's how bad I hate my story and remembrance of me. And you see it everywhere. Every race, every denomination, you see it everywhere now. Donald Trump is a perfect example. Okay, white people do it too. Okay, certain people are willing to leave everything to other cultures and races and ethnicities just to get back at whoever the fuck it was in their own race who told them no or sat them down or humbled them. Okay, a lot of people don't get over it, but it's sad because you don't have to get over it. You're going to be extincted because of your own lack realization of that. Okay, so poor people. Okay, and y'all let me know what you think about it. I think it's sad that you actually have to go through life, accomplish certain things, meet certain people to realize. Imagine when you already know most of the most highly praised people. A lot of those people are struggling worse than anybody with a 9 to 5, money wise and everything. I don't care what type of vehicle they pull up in. Most of those vehicles are paid for by their A&R team. It's not their vehicles. Okay, they in other words, if somebody else of a higher ranking was renting those vehicles, you gonna take a Uber to the Met Gala. Okay, I don't care what people say. A lot of these people are down worse than you. They have to pay to be seen. That's embarrassing. Simone Biles, I'm pretty sure she told y'all she didn't have 20,000 just to go to an event. Most of them don't. A lot of them are tricking and getting shit on their faces in Dubai, okay, just so they can go fake poop on everyone else. And then turn around and be like, I need my makeup done. Yeah, I don't do makeup no more. Okay. Do you know anybody? No. Mm-mm. No, I don't know nobody else. Don't care. What you understand what's really going on. I don't put people in position to knock people out of position who deserve to be there. Okay, so by a certain time, a lot of people have just already agreed to the BS. In other words, they know what they're participating in. They know they don't really get much in the end. They know it destroys their image, whatever it is. But because they don't want to go against so much other stuff, even within themselves, they're willing to just play a part as long as they get a little bit of pay cut out of it. They're willing to design all the makeup and costumes and never get praised for it, but you got a little $50,000 check. Okay, after a while, some people are taking the check and saying, "Damn the praise," because you never really get the praise where you want it from or where you deserve it from. It's usually right around your own front door. The people that you're really doing it for. Sadly, again, we are literally in iRobot, and most people pretend they can't tell that most people are copying and mimicking and look the same, act the same, dress the same. Okay, your fashion ain't that different. What store are you going to that other people can't shop at? Okay, somebody got your outfit on, poo. Okay, like that sort of thing. Certain shit, you know, it's not real. Okay, it's never been real. Okay, so if you can wear the same shirt as your celebrities, so can millions of other people. So past a certain point, you be looking at a whole bunch of people pretending it is something new under the sun. Okay, a lot of people need to forget the sun for a little bit and come sit under the moon. Okay, so you can go into the dawn differently, understanding differently, so you can actually evolve your time and stop just aging. If only people understood you only have a certain amount of time to evolve your light before your light starts going out, and that's what you guys call death. But if you didn't have so much false light around you permeating, okay, a lot of your lights would shine longer, brighter, harder, okay, more intense, all of that. But they can't. This is why they have you looking into light all the time. They're draining your light. Okay, they're draining your light with somebody else's fake light. In other words, their darkness is usually the thing draining you, but you can't tell that because they're dressing up their darkness. Okay, I love what I do. That's why I tell people: be careful what you do in the dark. I get a little messy when I come in the sunlight. But you can when you are a double Leo like I am. Okay. They didn't have me at dawn for no reason. Okay. I didn't come out at dawn for no reason. So I'm definitely going to come out on my ghostwriter in your business ship. Okay. Because I can. I feel like for a lot of people, your blessing becomes your curse if you don't use it correctly. When you use it correctly, it's your abundance. So, yes, love what you do, love what you're able to do, even if other people condemn it. Just make sure what you're doing is not a worldly thing that you have been given the greatness title of by the world. Okay, you're not a model. You're not a whatever it is. Certain stuff is just natural to the human essence. Okay, either you're with it or you're not with it. Again, your humanly titles don't mean the same when you pass away. So be careful of what you give power to. Okay. A lot of things that you're giving power to in this realm, they don't exist outside of it. And outside of it, it's not going to help you. So, yeah, get your knowledge correctly. Now, for those of you who are wondering, when I get to 2,000 subs and I do the cash giveaway, I'm also going to be looking for more moderators when I come in here in my live streams. But I'm going to be doing split live streams. So, for those of you who have any questions, if you want to particularly talk about certain things, whether it be on a phone line, whether it be, like I said, on a split screen live stream about certain topics, And even if you think it's a debate, it never will be for real. But you're welcome to come. Let me know. My information is in the bio. You guys can send me emails, whatever it is, so we can set it up so that we can do a live stream together, regardless of what it's about. We can pick the topic privately. It could be a lot of different topics. It could be whatever. If you're someone who just wants to debate what the things that I say, don't really care, you're welcome to do that. A lot of people like to debate because they don't have the knowledge. By the time they get it, a lot of people just dislike you for who you are in essence. Okay, so the debate comes from a self-inflicted point of view. But I'm willing to have the conversation if you are. So tune in. If you know anybody who would like to have those type of open discussions, whether on live stream, we can do it on a phone call on here, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel more comfortable doing. We can do that. Okay, and don't be upset if I read you like a book. Okay, because again, my book is always open, so I can't lie. Okay, I can't lie. So that being said, you're welcome to come here and tune in or not. Okay, but I'm definitely not going to lie to you because I can't, and because I don't have any need. I want not. So there's nothing I would need to lie to you for that you even have to give me. Okay, so tune in or don't. Okay. Again, make sure you subscribe if you haven't already. Make sure you like as you come in. I'm going to be doing some longer live streams for you guys, but later on, I'm going to be doing a members only. So you're welcome to tune into the members only. We will talk about our spirit animals. Okay, we will talk about how to enhance your palm energy. Okay, men and women alike, as well as your feet, your soul energy. Okay, how is your soul energy? If you don't increase your soul energy, you're going to always walk paths that were not made for you. Okay, so we're going to talk about both of those. We're going to talk about the season of Gemini, how to protect yourself from the double headed snakes and different types of double karmas that can absolutely send you down a spiraling path, whether it's financially, whether it is emotionally. You just want to be grounded at a time where it's going to be a high energy of indecisiveness. Okay, indecisiveness is not a really good spirit to have. So if you are someone who that's not even who you are, but you are struggling with that, you may want to tune in. And again, I make the members only very affordable for a reason. I want not. So get your knowledge, join the conversation in private, get your growth and healing without interference. Again, you guys have a beautiful dawn. I am about to get into my day a little bit more, and I will talk to you guys in the next one. Again, make sure you like, sub, and join the conversation. You're welcome to comment on these later as well.